Yes, yeah.
Do you used to go to the local picture houses as a child, David?
Oh, yes. I think the earliest time I started going was when I was about 5. And the first one I really ever went to, I think, was the Plaza here, which then was the Odeon. I joined the Saturday Cinema Club at the age of 5. My sister brought me up, signed me in, and like I say, the Saturday cinema going started to start then. Right.
So you just mentioned the Saturday Cinema Club.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that was?
Well, that was like I say, you come along here Saturday morning. Now there's 2 tiers. Yeah, you could either go upstairs or downstairs. Upstairs was dearer, but us being short of a few bob, we always come downstairs. And like you say, you come along anyway. Like you say, you pay your money, you get some sweets and that like, and the cinema would start with the songs. You know, you'd sing things like "Coming Round the Mountain," and then we'd have the cinema club song. It'd be, oh, we come along on a Saturday morning, greeting everybody with a smile. But being lads, we greeted everybody with a smack. Well, like I say, it was lovely being introduced to the cinema and that like, and one of my earliest remembers, you know, like you say, when I was a child, that you know, come along and you'd have the short films to start with, you know, the likes of Laurel Hardy, Buster Keaton, the Three Stooges and that like, and oh, there was one when I got a bit older. One I could remember was a short film called Behind the Eight Ball. And it was always about, I think, Joe Noakes or someone like that. And he'd done everything wrong. And it was like a comedy thing. Oh, it was funny. And he said we'd have all the shorts and that like, and then we'd have the cereal. It was either Flash Gordon with Ming the Merciless and the Rockmen. And it's funny, you know, them days, you know, technology in the cinema wasn't as good as it is now. And the spaceships in Flash Gordon was always take off and going around circle like that, and we didn't realise that because he hadn't got the ability to go that way. He'd have a piece of string going up and that like, but they were brilliant pictures like. But to us, you know what I mean, as children, like, oh, they were exciting and that like. And then you'd have Thunder Riders, you know, and then you'd have the other one, Black Hawk, or you'd have Batman serial. I know you had Superman and George Reeves as his name was, I think was related to Christopher Reeves, who later on went to make Superman and that like. But like I say, it was a fantastic world. Because like I say, I'm trying to give my point of view as someone that was illiterate. And I couldn't read and write as a child. Well, even into adulthood, I still couldn't read and write properly. And I'll be quite honest, most of my education has come from the cinema and television. Unfortunately, when we went to school, you know, I mean, they didn't learn us a great deal in that like. But I love school. Like I say, coming to the cinema was great education. It was a dream world, or they called it the dream factory and that. And the cinemas, oh, fantastic. Because like I say, I lived in a house that was very Victorian. Although it was an atomic age I lived in. The house we had was gaslit, coal fires. My grandmother was still cooking on an open range, you know, outside toilet and that. You'd have ice on in the windows, and you know, in the winter you'd have the old army coat on its bed and that pot under the bed, and but it was a wonderful childhood because I didn't know any different, and to me, you know, it was just fantastic. Although, like I say, I missed out on a lot of things and that like. But the cinema was one of the greatest things I remember as a child.